So when we moved off grid, we found that there were a lot of things that were different, and we came up with a list of things that we had to sacrifice in order to make this lifestyle work for us. One of the biggest things, the difference, is the way that we shower. We uh we have in the summertime we have an excellent setup. We just shower outside uh with gravity fed water,
Mm-hmm.
and it's no different than showering in your normal conventional shower, except for that you get to be outside and listen to the birds and have fresh air, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But in the winter,
Winter, it's a bit different. We fill up a bowl with warm water and sort of give ourselves a bit of a, I guess, sponge bath
yeah,
would be the term. And yeah, that's usually the biggest cleaning
I have to
we
wash
want
my
here.
hair in the sink
Hmm.
because, well, my hair's very long and goes
There
pretty
is, yeah, there is an
quite long.
opportunity for on special occasions to use a publicly available shower nearby here. Um, but
We
we have
pay
to pay
ten
for
bucks and to the
ten
go to
bucks.
the
Yeah,
gas station basically,
it's a bit expensive,
and you
but
can
it's
yeah.
it's warm running water, and that's actually a luxury now. So
I'm used to the way we shower now. Like it's yeah, when I go to like a hotel or something, if I'm going to visit family, um showering is it feels great. Like you
hmm,
appreciate it more.
yeah,
But
definitely,
at the same time, like I don't feel gross
yeah.
the way that we clean now. It's totally fine.
Next thing on the list is going to be some of the specialty stores that we got used to on the West Coast, specifically Costco and Winco. I don't know, is that advertising to mention them by name?
I don't. We'll figure out the rules.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be a problem for this
Yeah.
video.
A couple big box stores like Costco and or Winco, with the co-op store on the West Coast, and they just had a
Well, there was the
you know
bulk section, which
bulk
is
section which we
so
love.
great.
We
Like,
love bulk.
you go in there and you get a scoop of peanuts and put it
Hmm.
in your bag and weigh it,
Hmm.
and you don't have to buy extra packaging. You could bring a cloth bag
Yeah.
and fill that, and then you're just paying for the peanuts. You're not
Yeah.
paying for all the extra plastic and all the hoopla. So another big one, well, this is a big one for me. A large screen TV and my computer, like my gaming computer. We are nerds.
Yes.
If that wasn't obvious yet, we love to play video games, and I like to play VR. Um, I can't do any virtual reality gaming now. Maybe if we get a more robust solar generator or system happening, but right now what I'm using is just handheld video games, which is still super fun, and it accomplishes what I need, like to de-stress and all of that.
Hmm.
But I do miss like the large screen and watching movies with the surround sound and all of that.
I guess sort of feeding into that point is having power on demand, or wall outlets, electricity. You don't have to plan around using certain devices. You can just plug something in and you're good to go. Charge your batteries whenever you like. Here we have to plan it. We have to figure out how sunny is it going to be the next day, and based on that, we can use a certain amount of power before we deplete our batteries down to the point where we either have to charge them with a generator or wait for a sunny day to charge them, or figure something else out. We've had situations where we've had to get creative on how to solve our power issues. We just finished working on a solar generator that
Yes,
hopefully,
we should probably mention that
yeah,
the thing that so the power that we've been using right now
mm-hmm,
is a small
yeah,
portable solar generator with a 100 watt.
400 watt hour battery.
Right, but the solar panel itself is
Oh
only.
yeah, 100. It's 120 or 100 or 120 watt
I'll put a
solar
photo of it
generator.
up on the
Yeah.
screen. So we've been here for 2.5 or like almost 3 years,
Yeah.
and we've, you know, just survived off of electricity from this tiny little portable thing.
Yeah.
Once we have our solar generator working the way we need it,
Yeah.
our power is going to increase a lot, like the amount of power that we have access to.
Once we have our solar array up and we can charge the solar generator adequately, we should actually be able to have a, almost conventional level of electricity at the house. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be running any washers or dryers or anything.
Or if we have like a week of solid gray skies and no sun, we're going to have to cut back on the usage. But
on a good, sunny day, we're going to be able to run the lights at night, and who knows, we may even be able to get a microwave. I mean, probably not. I kind of like not having them, but
we don't need a microwave.
Don't really need one, but we could have one, and that's the point. I mean, yeah, that'll open up our opportunities substantially, but that's something we've had to plan on. That's something I've had to spend a little while figuring out and constructing, because it's not a given anymore. It's not I can just, there's no wall I can just go and plug something into and have heat or lights anytime I like.
So while we're on the topic of electricity, we use wood heat now, which is a change. We used to use electric heat. Just turn a dial and the radiators on the floor turn on, and so now we have to chop the wood, we have to cut down the tree. We have to cut it up into logs, then we have to chop it, then we have to stack it, or stack it multiple times because we're stacking it out in the sun so it dries, and then we're stacking it again in the woodshed. And then you have to go to the woodshed and take it out of the woodshed and put it in the house or the cabin. And then that's when it finally,
all comes together.
Yeah. But so at the same time, like, we're getting exercise. We're warming our bodies by doing the physical exercise, and then getting the heat again, when it finally burns.
It's there's a much bigger return to it, but at the same time we are absolutely sacrificing the ease and convenience of plugging a space heater in and turning it on.
Right. That was and like I'm cold, well, let's just flip this button. So we've also do not have a dishwasher. These are the dish. This is the dishwasher right here. Our hands. We also have to haul all of the water that we wash our dishes with. We showed in the previous video that we collect all of our rainwater off of our carport roof. So we have to haul that from the carport to the cabin. In the summertime, we can use a hose because there's enough gravity to let it flow. But we're hauling that to the cabin, and then we're hauling the gray water, which is the result of washing your dishes, outside and dumping that in a tree zone that can accept that gray water. And we use all biodegradable soaps. We don't put any chemicals. We haven't used Windex or Lysol in the whole time we've been here.
I'd say the apple cider vinegar is our primary cleaning agent.
Vinegar
for most purposes.
So washing machine was easy. You load it. You push a button, you put the detergent in, you push a button, and then you get clean dishes, hopefully, if you don't have a poor quality washing machine. Which we usually did with the apartments that we were renting.
Always an issue.
But so it's one is extremely easy, the other one not so much. A vacuum, we have a vacuum, and we have to run the generator to use it. So we're mostly just sweeping, and that works for us. When we really want to use a vacuum, we can, but we're not able to use it all the time. And we don't have a big conventional vacuum. We just have a tiny little shop vac that's meant for like cleaning out your vehicle.
Yeah.
But we also have a really small cabin, so the amount of square feet that we're trying to keep clean is so small that it's easy to do. And,
Yeah.
a broom is fine, like,
We're not living in squalor or filth.
and a washing machine.
Yes.
We, in the wintertime, we go to a laundromat to do our laundry.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get away from that because it's pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying quite a bit of money to do our laundry at the laundromat.
Yeah.
But in the wintertime for now, that's what we're doing. And then in the summer, I hand wash everything, and then we just wring it out and hang it up to dry on the line. Which, if you have a conventional washing machine, all you do is put the stuff in the machine and push a button or turn the dial.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes the thought and the worry and the effort out of the process. Going back to what you were saying about electric heat, one thing we definitely gave up when we moved out here is a well-insulated building. The log cabin is beautiful, but when we got here, they only had moss chinking between the logs, and I mean that for one, it was terribly musty smelling in there. And for another, it didn't really do much to insulate, any humidity or wind. So obviously after we cleaned it out of there, we redid it with a mixture of clay that we dug up on our property and chopped straw.
Yeah, so daubing is
Yes.
the traditional. Daubing is the traditional material used to fill the gap between the logs.
When we got here, we did our best to insulate the cabin. We cleaned it up and got it working, and it is a lot better than it was. But at the same time, there are still holes that we are unable to fill.
Well, the way the cabin is constructed, the way it was designed, is kind of like there's a floor, like somebody built a deck, and then the cabin is like a cap on top of the deck, but it's not actually attached.
Yeah.
So there's gaps like that go like below the cabin and in between the floor and comes up.
Yeah.
So it's like any hand-built log cabin you ever encounter is going to be drafty. That's kind of the nature of it, unless they spent a bunch of money on artificial like silicone filler to put in between the logs.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're trying to do here.
Exactly. So the wood fire keeps us warm and it keeps it pleasant in there. It keeps the water from freezing, and that's essential. But it's also the living room is much warmer than the kitchen. There's different zones of comfort in this place in the cabin, and that's something to get used to, and definitely something to get used to. Definitely, being able to have a uniform temperature throughout your house is absolutely a luxury that I just didn't even think about. Now I'm thinking about it.
Well, and insulation is different than thermal mass. When the sun hits it, it absorbs that heat and it holds on to it, and then through the night when it's cold, it lets that heat out slowly. So in the summertime, it's really cold. Well, not really cold. It's cool inside the cabin.
Yeah.
And then in the wintertime, even if we don't have a wood stove on, it's warmer in the cabin.
Absolutely.
So just because it's not insulated well doesn't mean it's like this tent that's
in
the middle of the woods. Thermal mass counts for a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something we had to get used to. It's like, you don't want to have the windows open at certain times of the day. You have to kind of, go to the ebb and flow of nature.
Yeah.
But so another sacrifice we made was running water. We do not have running water in the traditional sense with like pipes and, plumbing, and you turn a faucet and your stuff, the water flows. We have to use gravity, and in the summertime, we can run a hose from our water tanks that are by the carport, And gravity, there's enough of a slope on our property that, gravity lets the water flow down. And at the other end of the hose, we can just open up the hose and fill a bucket and haul
Mm-hmm.
that wherever we need.
Yeah.
But we're still having to fill the bucket and haul it inside the cabin. We don't have the end of the hose like going through the wall, at least not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. Hopefully someday, maybe.
And we
We'll see.
wouldn't use a hose if we did that, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, we have to plan again, like just like the electricity, we have to plan everything out. We have to make sure at the end of the day that we have refilled our water filters, and that they're going to give us the supply for the next day. Otherwise, we can find ourselves in a difficult situation where we're having to buy filtered water, which is very, very expensive. We have to make sure, we're collecting enough water. If we need to clean our dishes, ourselves, our clothes, our property, our animals, there's tons of water needs around here, and making sure that we have that ready and available has definitely challenged us. We're hoping, of course, to expand our sources of water. We'd like to put in a shallow well
yeah, like
at some point.
just a hand dug
Yeah.
well. I have a pretty good design in
Mhm.
mind for what I want to do. And basically, you have just a hand pump and you're using suction to get the water out of the well and into a
Mhm.
bucket.
Yeah. We have a pretty good high water table around here, and
Which
it's
is good and bad, but
yeah, good and bad, and definitely works for that, and it should be able to work for us for most of the summer. And being able to make sure that all of our animals and us and plants have water at all times is it's essential for farming. It's
yeah, it's a
essential for life.
daily task.
Yeah, it's a daily task, and it's something we always have to think about. That again, we did not have to before.
Another sacrifice we made was winter driving conditions. So, Pacific Northwest is temperate.
Yes.
Temperate climate. That means that it's kind of cozy. Like, okay, it gets cold, but you never have like a stretch of negative temperatures for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't have the snow. Any precipitation that happens in the Pacific Northwest is usually rain.
Yeah. West of the Cascades.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So now that we're in rural Maine, we have a lot of snow. And
Yes.
Ben has experience with that. He
I
grew up
in New Hampshire, so snow, blizzards, they're not new to me. Being the adult when snow and blizzards is happening, that is new to me, and that's a different experience. And I'm sure my parents will appreciate that. I now understand that. Yeah, having again, we do get ice. We did get ice in Washington State. But out there, they'll put sand on the ground. Here, they put salt. I'm not sure exactly why the difference is, but we have to be careful with our vehicles and make sure that they're not getting too rusted out and too damaged from that salt. And even more than that, we live the area our property is on is not plowed and covered by the city. So if it snows, as we said before, we have to pay specifically to get it plowed or request it from friends of ours, who might be too busy to do it. And in that case, we're out of luck.
Yeah. So basically, I just let Ben drive everywhere because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I can.
Little bit of experience, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So last year, I was driving to, was it work? I think, can't remember. No, last year I was driving somewhere, and I ended up in a ditch. It wasn't an emergency. It wasn't no damage to the vehicle, but what happened was I slid across into the oncoming traffic and then slid gently into the ditch on the other side. And I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, not fun.
I'd rather just let him do that. I love driving. When it's good conditions.
Mm-hmm. So wintertime is my time to drive.
Yeah, and we just don't drive if we think it's too scary or risky. We just don't do it.
Yeah.
Except for that one time, I guess I did.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, the really big thing was moving out here was giving up friends. You know, spending a lot of time in Washington State, there's a lot of close relationships cultivated, and you know, I miss them all. It is something I think about pretty much daily. You know, some people I'd love to share what I'm doing with. Some people I wish were there with us that aren't. Yeah, I miss them all. Yeah. So yeah, those are the things we gave up to move out here. And is it worth it to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, not trying to be like rude and say, oh, who needs friends or anything.
Or running water or electricity. Yeah.
I'm not arrogant, but
No.
at the same time, the way that we were living before was so stressful to our personalities, to our brains.
To how we work as people, yeah.
Yeah, that it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't going to work long term. It was going to create a situation where we would burn out, which actually we already were burning out.
Yeah.
Which is why we put so much effort into moving here, into making the change, into figuring out how to make this lifestyle work for us. And I would not go back. I would love to be able to have my friends come visit me. That's definitely not saying I wouldn't go back because I don't want to see anyone, but like I love the way we're living now.
Yeah.
It is peaceful. I can go outside and just watch the chickadees eat the tiny little bits that they can find on the trees. And in the springtime, like, there are so many birds here. I'm probably never going to be able to identify all of them. Like, there's so many different bird calls we're trying to figure out, and it's like nature just around me all the time.
I'm hoping a lot of our sacrifices, end up only being temporary ones, that, we slowly improve our situation until, our lives, we've given up nothing. We have everything, we could possibly hope for, provided for us.
But in a way that we can maintain them ourselves.
Exactly.
Because
in a sustainable, life-giving, healthy way.
Yeah. Yeah. And without going into debt or, being dependent on some big company or
keeping ourselves happy through, chemical alteration, or stuffing ourselves with, delicious foods just to keep ourselves happy. Yeah, no, the way before wasn't going to work. It was going to end badly, I think. And this way, I don't feel the same way. I'm at peace here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the video. And we hope to share many more.
Bye-bye.
See you later, neighbors.
We don't shower. Well, we don't have a conventional shower, that is.
Oh, yes.
We shower, but...
We clean.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, no. We're going to cut that whole shit.
That was a stupid thing to say. Cut that, please.
Okay.
I should never talk. I should just stop talking forever.
Check it.
Yep, check it.